Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome, guys. Happy Thursday. We are coming into the end of the week once again, getting ready to close out another week full of, this week's been, the lower time frame's been volatile when I zoom out. I'm pretty sure we're trading at just about relatively the same price all week. So eagerly anticipating, I think, a little bit more volatility in this market. But if you are a lower time frame trader, whether or not you have been successful or not this week as a result of macro data, I'm sure you've had plenty of material, right, to work with. We've gotten a lot of these just kind of like up and down and V candles in both directions, and it has been it's been very fitting for kind of what you would expect given all of the all of the beloved macro data that we love to cover, and how it has been released this week, right? CPI yesterday, we had I think jobless claims today, but more importantly, guys, the cast and crew, I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Tucker and Chef Jackus. Welcome to you guys as well. Before we can start cooking, guys, and before we can start bringing you that big, juicy alpha that we love to do, especially on, I love to do it on Thursdays because Thursdays are kind of like low-key my favorite day of the week. But before we can start cooking, guys, I'm going to ask if you can smash the like button, slam the like button, destroy the like button if you have to, but hopefully not too much so where you can't hit it again tomorrow. Regardless, though, thank you guys for being here. We're going to do our best to cook you up a delicious meal today. And we always appreciate when you guys can smash that like button as your show of appreciation. But kind of breaking things down on a bit more of an individual basis, right? It's like I said, Bitcoin and ETH are, I want to say they're probably trading around the same prices, maybe not quite as like Sunday open. We're probably higher than that, but at least since New York sessions have been open Monday through Wednesday, I'm pretty sure we've been covering relatively the exact same prices all week. But, right, we are coming into important levels for Bitcoin. And I think there's some important context about, or really relative pairs that we'll talk about as well. But Bitcoin, at least through the lens that I'm seeing right now, right? 59 to 61K is a very big level. It's the type of level where if you flip it, I'm looking at that bleed that Bitcoin has effectively been in since we had that big gap down candle on August 27th. You can flip that as support. That would be a pretty bullish sign, a big market structure break, right? Tucker looking like Joe Burrow.
Bro, my hair used to be way blonder than this. I just wear a hat on here all the time. But no Joe Burrow vibes in here.
Can you play quarterback?
Huh?
Can you play quarterback? Not that the Chiefs need one, but
No. And we got the game this weekend. No, we can't be throwing Joe Burrow comments around. Big game.
Oh wait,
game.
You guys playing the Bengals this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that is a big game. Hopefully T. Higgins plays because I drafted him in fantasy this year. But back to the markets, guys. Bitcoin is at this pivot point, right? Where I think if you can flip that bleed from the past like 2 weeks, I guess it was really a very slow bleed in hindsight. But if you can flip it, I think that looks very good for risk, especially within crypto. And if you cannot, a bearish rejection would be a very bad signal for risk in crypto, right? We like when the market presents very binary opportunities for us so that we don't have to overthink our decisions. But all that to say, technical analyzer, volatility incoming, the next move will be telling. Hold on, my cat's chewing on a little box of nails. That's definitely not good for him, bro. But yeah, of course, I also wanted to point out, though, and it's definitely something that we should talk about, of course, as well, that ETH does look a lot weaker than Bitcoin, which isn't inherently bearish on USD prices, right? When Bitcoin has led the market higher, ETH Bitcoin has gone lower. It would just require Bitcoin to go up that much more given the context of where ETH is currently at within its trend. I'm sure we'll talk about ETH Bitcoin on this show, though, guys. I really think that pair is in a pretty interesting spot as a whole. course, equities, I guess they're going back to red. They're kind of waffling back and forth. I guess we'll kind of wait to see how the daily and the weekly closes on equity markets, because they have been very. I was looking at some of like the lower time frame charts on equities yesterday, and they are just literally like a heartbeat chart, like up and down and up and down and up and down. I'm sure options traders and equity markets are having an even worse time than futures traders in crypto right now. But hopefully we get some telling volatility here pretty soon. I'm going to go ahead and open it up though. I can only waffle about volatility incoming essentially for so long. It is coming. We just don't quite know the direction yet. But fortunately, like I said, we do have very binary criteria that can define which, how to or what our actions will be if X or Y happens. But how are you guys doing? And I'd love to know what you're seeing in the markets. We probably don't care too much about the economic data at this point, or maybe we do. It does seem to be consistently in line with our expectations. And I think that's probably going to be the case until the election.
Yes. Sorry. Polishing that off. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the economic data, I don't think it was a nothing burger today, right? Like everything came in pretty much in line, 3K off on the jobs, but yeah, everything was pretty much exactly what they expected. So kind of a nothing burger. We did put in this candle because of it. We got a little pump and dump, but the only thing that you guys know that I'm bullish on here, right? But the only thing I really don't love short term is this, right? You're getting this. I would bet there's a divergence there, but you're getting this 3 drive into the highs right into the kind of the macro golden pocket of this entire range, right? So I would be inclined to think this probably comes back down to about this level. That's just a weekly level, and it's where we found support back here. But yeah, that's kind of my bias as of right now, which is really not calling for a whole lot. Like what we're talking about. Okay, 3%. Yeah, that might hurt a little bit, but here's my thing, guys. I think nothing really matters until we get Powell next week. And I think if we do like this and then this and then that, I think as long as we're just hanging out in here, you're good. Okay. In here or up here, you're good. Not down here. Okay. Don't really want to be losing the weekly low, right? Don't really want to be sub 56K. That would not be a great sign. That would not be a great sign. I'm just reading the comments. What's up?
The current levels on lower time frames are good for lower time frame gamblers and addicts. Mm-hmm. It's good if you have that gambling problem. It's fun. Mm-hmm. But I think there is one key thing we can take from the price action of the past days. And that's the major reclaim and acceptance above 56K. I think that is crucial and the only thing that really does matter here. And as long as we do not cheat the local lows, basically, we should be heading upwards. And then one level leads to the breakout of another, which leads to the breakout of another, which leads to the breakout of weekly market structure, which leads to all-time highs, which leads to basically prices above 100K. So it's like a cascade of things happening from here. Like the range has been going on for 6+ months. It's the longest one since 2023, since we were at 25Ks. And the breakout is going to be significant. There is no more prolonging of this range. And again, coming back to this week's price action, what's very important is that we are holding right now. I still would love to see a little bit more, especially from ETH, because ETH really needs to go in tandem with Bitcoin, right? So they both need to go up. You won't get that's sort of the hard take. You cannot have Bitcoin going up and ETH going down or vice versa. you'll have both going in the same direction, more or less. One will just be leading the other, and in times it will change which one is leading the other. But yeah, the recline we had above 56K is absolutely crucial. And the fact that we are staying above it, that little fact should lead to the fact that we go above 61, or we will tackle 61, right? And if we do reclaim 61, I think really at that point it's game over for the Bears. So I think we did the hard part this week, because this week, if we were bearish, I do believe we would have broken lower already, which we did not. Instead, we reclaimed 56. The weekly candle right now is engulfing basically the prior one, not entirely, but in terms of bodies. So once again, as I said, I would love to see a little bit more, but I think and again, right, I would love to see a little bit more even from East perspective, but all in all, this week has been really important reclaims. And to add, to just finish up, I think what's interesting is especially from altcoin perspective, we do see lots of alts that have not been baiting to the market downside of Bitcoin and Ether, at all. Lots of them haven't made new lows on Friday even. They made higher lows on Friday, and this week they are way higher. And I think that is foreshadowing of what's to come. I think this market is really right now building the energy, and once it goes, you will have a really hard time stopping it.
What do you think about this, Jackus? I was playing with this earlier. The old Bitcoin bottom. It just looks like I don't know why, but I was looking at. Well, I do know why. I was just looking at price, but I was just where have I seen this bang bang drop into this kind of a thing? To me, it feels like you're maybe here. And don't worry, guys. I've already put the fractal on, so nobody get worried. Damn it. Where'd it go?
And it's on a different Bitcoin chart.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is. Oh, I'm on anything. I need to get a Bitcoin micro.
No, but I do see what you see there, Tucker. Obviously, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different time frame, but price is fractal, and I think it probably does play out to some degree. It's obviously not going to be the same, but the major reclaim, the retest you have there, right, of 55.6K, that's something I was telling people in the BB Discord on, it was probably Tuesday. I was telling them that that's likely to come, and then you want to see the price bouncing there, and we got exactly that. Now it's basically bears wishing that this drops lower, and like I said, it's we are not there fully yet, but with everything that's happening, for example, just look at the way silver is pumping right now. Look at Nvidia, right? I think those are foreshadowing what's to come here. So I think bears are really on a very thin ice now.
I agree. I just here it is, guys. I have to do this. I'm obligated to fit this, guys. On 1 hour price action, by the way. We need to drop it down lower. But you guys are about to study today. Watch this. Where was the drop? Yeah, there she is. This is good stuff right here, guys. Oh boy. Oh, would you look at that? Maybe we need to go. Yeah, good enough. Good enough, guys. Good enough. 70K by Powell. Study that. I don't know, man. You guys see it, right? You guys see the little bottom, SVB. You see that, right? I'm not crazy, am I?
No, I see it.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, all that matters, like if we do this, I'm gonna get giga bullish short term. Because right now I'm kind of bearish on this price action right here, like super locally, right? But like I bet there's a big old div. There's gotta be. Let's see. There has to be.
The Divor.
I am the devil. Let's see.
Wait, were Sui perps on Binance before today?
Were Sui perps not on Binance?
Yeah, somebody just said Sui perps now on Binance. Was that not already a thing?
I assumed it was a thing, but
Sui perps were on Binance before.
I thought so. Yeah.
Divs playing, divs everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, you probably come back into 56. I really would like to see this hold, This needs to hold. This.
And usually though, if you keep grinding into divs like that, though, it's gonna get invalidated.
Yeah. Oh, well, that is nice. They'll keep your locked drawings. That's a new feature right there. I like that.
They stay locked until you toggle log or off log, and then you have to refit them. That's the only thing.
No, log screws it up.
Yeah. I've had like patterns I put on linear, and then I toggle log and I have to refit the linear entirely, which if I'm extrapolating out like a whole cycle, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Tommy, you're cutting out so bad.
No, I heard him decent. I can hear you, Tommy. Jackass. It might be a skill issue.
I have a VPN on. I can turn that off.
Yeah, turn that off. That'll do it. Let's see. Jesus Christ, Mr. Magoo. I haven't been reading these comments at all. I'm just seeing this. Oh, man. Yeah, that's true, Tyrell. More range after the... I mean, ranging above 70K would be just fine with me, man. That'd be just fine. But, by the way, this is that's a bull div, man. That's a daily bull div, because this only measures from the closes, right? And you've got essentially a double bottom with a higher low on RSI.
We got fake Snorlax in here with us.
Whoa.
We got the Snorlax that's still connected to a VPN and
Oh no, where's his excellency though? That's the real question.
Oh, he can show up at any time. Wait, hold up.
Do we check on his excellency right here?
Oh yeah.
I still swear that Sean looks so good. Like
I know.
You need, by the way, you need longer chart, Tucker.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's just do this one. Boom. Wow.
That's such a funny chart, man. The key to generational wealth since 2020 was just aping Tron.
I mean, as long as you're above there, I think you're good. I think it probably keeps going.
What does the TRX ETH pair look like? I'm curious.
The TRX, whoa. I've never even...
Oh man.
Breaking out indeed. Look at that.
Wow.
I mean, could get rejected. We'll see. Probably breaks out. Maybe does get rejected though, Tommy, because I'm seeing 1, 2, 3.
The thing about like trading pairs is that they're not going to trade like shit coins, because for one, most people aren't trading off of like levels of liquidity off of something like Sol TRX, for example, but
yeah,
they are very much like oscillators. So I
yeah.
think you're right. Like it could definitely reject here.
Oh, look at this. Yeah.
So that's bullish ETH, right?
Bloody land wolf, boys. Here we go. It's time.
No, listen,
Time,
I really
Jacket.
mean that's like legit bullish, and we will get to the wolf, but that's like because TRX isn't bearish, right? So that technically has to mean that
Yeah.
ETH is bullish.
Well, that's what I thought
Right.
about Sol ETH, and then ETH kept doing ETH things.
I mean, yeah,
True.
Sol ETH, man, Sol ETH. That chart's going higher, probably.
Yeah.
That chart was
if it breaks that 065 level, that all-time highs, I think it's at that point I think it's confirmed that ETH is just perma shit. But as he said to me today, we still need like it's not really that too many people hold ETH itself, right? It's more that like you still need ETH to do well for your shitcoins to do well. which is the tough part. It's like, why would someone hold Doge?
It's really difficult to find a reason to hold Doge when other meme coins exist, and you can get exposure to like altcoins through something like Solana, and ETH is on more of like an index level.
Yeah.
Man. Some of these 3-day charts just look so good. Oh, Wolf over Pepe, guys. What is this? What is this? A data issue? It's fine. Come on.
Coinbase charts have been having issues all morning. I don't know if you guys have any on your trading view, but it's been a pain in the butt.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of Coinbase charts on mine.
Oh boy.
Bitcoin USD isn't even loading up. No, I saw that they had like a maintenance or something. That Coinbase.
Yeah, I was watching the ETH USD chart during the data announcement this morning, and I was like, "There's no way we're just not moving at all."
Yeah.
I mean, this is as simple as I make it right here. Like, buy. Like, these are good buys, man. These have historically been good buys. If you just buy a loss and reclaim of the range golden pocket, good buys. Good buys.
Are you saying goodbyes to the bears?
Yeah, that too.
That reminds me of the meme. You said goodbye. Yeah. No, I said goodbye.
Yeah.
The one with the cat. Yeah, the cat meme.
I like the sword meme where he's like unsheathing it, and it's like, good luck. I sold everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're good. Again, 56, 57K. I think as simple as you make it is, let's get rid of all these damn rectangles. I think as simple as you make it is you just hold this impulse candle and you're good. Although I don't know, it's tough right here. Yeah, I think you get a stab down into here and kind of test around here, and then there you go.
Like everyone and their mom is seeing the level at 53.4K. Like, obviously, but I think that price is just gonna not do that here, maybe on lower time frame. And obviously, it's a speculation because lower time frame is just gambling. But it's really basically 50-50 most of the times. But like from a technical side of things, if this was higher time frame, you would expect like 56.4K retest here. But I could see the price just like not doing that and just having like a thief up higher from here.
Yeah. I mean, these are the big levels for me. I think above 56 you're fine. Flip 58, that's a rocket right there. Flip 59, really 59, but
Like,
yeah.
look at the H1 time frame there, Tucker, right? And we just broke the highs, came back to the support, right? To the H1 OB there, and
Yeah.
are bouncing nicely from it. So I think that it can easily just send higher from here, as lower time frame traders are expecting that pullback, right? They are drawing their fib levels, OTE down there. I think lower time frame usually isn't this precise. But was this on higher time frame, it would come.
Yeah, they want that. I know they want that right there even.
What the fuck, Emilio?
What? What does that even mean?
Tucker's like, what did I do wrong?
Also just not my dad, you know.
It's just such a random.
He said, "Oh man."
Can you look?
All right, I will. Done.
Can you look at the XRP East pair?
Yeah.
Yeah, XRP probably does deserve a little bit of shine today, doesn't it?
Yeah, what's it doing today? What you want XRP? Do you want market caps, or you want me to just do? Yeah, I know. You want me to just do Bitstamp and Bitstamp?
Do you know that you can just type XRP East?
Isn't that market caps though? Don't you want like USD?
It's on Binance. It's a tradable
pair. Oh, it's a pair like ETH BTC. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You want log? Do we need log for this? I feel like we do.
No, I really just want to like zoom in on the recent price action, because this is the best definition of PO3 happening live. But I want like on the zoom in version on like give me like a daily, right?
Whoa.
And I absolutely am loving. And can you put on the XRP East pair from Binance? There's more volume. I like it more. Also, the best history. I'm liking this impulse we got today. Obviously, it was news driven, but like, and obviously it's a shenanigans. But we know they're gonna use it, especially for something like XRP. This move higher is breaking basically from this like the first pump you had right on the left. That's the news regarding the case. Positive news, right? The case is still going on, but basically like the judge has ruled out a positive outlook for the case in a very TLDR version, and then the market retraces the pump, doesn't go any further, reaccumulates, and now it pumps again, right? I call these test pumps, but I really like it, the today's one. So I think that the PO3 is kind of like, from higher time frame perspective, the PO3 is happening there. And from lower time frame ones, which is daily in this case, you just had the breakout above this little range, basically.
Yeah, it's like a 2x back to even just these range highs, so not too bad. I mean, where do you think this goes?
I think it goes to like 14,000.
14,000. Oh, you're talking about like just 1.4, like up in here?
Yeah. I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, like 0014.
14,000. Oh man. Okay, yeah. So you're thinking right here. So that would be a 500% move. So what, a 6x against ETH?
Yeah, but think where ETH is going. Well, obviously 0, but
Well, yeah, depends on who you ask, Jackus. I mean, yeah, if ETH goes to like, let's just say 10K for an easy example, I don't even know if it's probably not even. I don't know. It might get there, but
we need a longer cycle for it to happen at this point, in my opinion, because it's going to take time for ETH Bitcoin to now reaccumulate.
Yeah.
It was assuming that ETH Bitcoin breaks down here.
Oh,
I think it will.
Jesus
It's gonna take some
Christ, look at
time to
this.
rise back out. But I also think that this is a good what's the word I'm looking for? But example's the wrong word, but I'm gonna use it. This is kind of like a signal that I'm kind of looking at for why I think we could super cycle, is because if ETH Bitcoin does need like a longer drawn out bottom before it can rise from the ashes once more, that is indicative of super cycle behavior, because you would need multiple years for it to be able to do that. And obviously the market hasn't needed ETH Bitcoin yet, but I do think in peak froth it will. Jack has already kind of touched on it a little bit, but like the dispersion in altcoins is so much larger. There's so many more things pumping when ETH is also pumping. When ETH is outperforming Bitcoin, it's indicative of a larger risk appetite. So to me, it just signals that, assuming that the ETH Bitcoin chart isn't wrecked forever, it's going to round out, form a longer term bottom. And probably, I mean, I don't know if it'll make all-time highs again, but eventually it's going to pump really hard against Bitcoin again down the line. And that, I don't know if I think that can happen within like a few months. I think that's probably like an extended time period for that to occur.
Tucker, can you put on the meme I just sent you?
On Discord?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jackus. Yes.
Put it on this chart.
Oh boy. Let's put it over this price action. There. Are you sure?
Although
Man.
I think it would be more fitting on the Sol East chart if it breaks, like put it right above all-time highs there. If Sol East breaks it, right? Like draw a line at all-time highs, and then above it.
Yeah, here, hang on. This is good. This is quality stuff.
Man, oh man.
Oh geez. You won't find that kind of alpha on any other channel, guys. You just won't.
Truly few.
Just is what it is. We need to talk. Oh, Jesus Christ. We need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Because look here, guys. Look here. Looky here. So September 1, September 1st, so the first week of September, whatever, first week of September. So I'm thinking, we did this yesterday, but I'm thinking Bitcoin up, ETH BTC down. Okay. Into the first of the year, right? The yearly open of the post-halving and post-election year is an ETH BTC gigabid, in my opinion. Okay. An ETH BTC gigabid. Now, I will put on this for everyone's enjoyment, not the RSI, but just to go and look at some price action in this. It's not even Q4, it's just September through end of year. Okay. Bitcoin, green candles up only, while ETH BTC is down only. Okay. What happened here? Bitcoin, huge green candles, ETH BTC down only. Bitcoin gets a little choppy, ETH BTC breaks out, right? Same thing. You didn't get the ETH BTC true rip until Bitcoin was above, 56K. like basically distributing, right, in this cycle. So I would say once you do see this, it's probably time to scale out, right? And when does that happen? That happened May, right? This top happened in June, basically. So midway through Q2, you're going to want to exit every single ETH derivative bag, probably, right? That's just what I mean. Someone rebut me, Jackus, Tommy.
Wait, what do you want, Tucker?
Do you agree?
That we go lower before we go higher?
That we can have ETH BTC bleed into end of year Bitcoin rip face. You know, Bitcoin. Oh Jesus, what did I do? And then back
like
here again, Bitcoin rip face, and then
that's
ETH
kinda what has
BTC pump Q1. Yeah, it is.
because the way that ETH USD looks, it's going to need Bitcoin to rip to save its structure, and then it's going to have to focus on outperforming. At least that's kind of how I view it. But I like the comparison. I think it's the blueprint that ETH is going to have to follow in order to have that cyclical outperformance that it's known to have.
Yeah. I mean, the chart is, I mean, I agree. The chart looks horrendous, right? The ETH BTC chart looks terrible, but things always indeed look the worst at the bottom. Like let's look at this. Whatever, remove it. Remove it. Okay. I mean, how bad did ETH BTC look like, you know, right here, right? Like that looked horrendous. It looked like, I mean, I'm sure people were calling for this consolidation to get hit, right? And it never did. It never ever did.
They were.
You know. So now where's that level? Like here?
Yeah.
And it's probably not going to hit it. Yeah, it's probably just going to like do that or something.
Probably.
So hopefully, we're praying.
Well, I was saying that, and I do not know when this happens. Obviously, I thought it's going to come earlier than this. But to me, ETH BTC really begins to outperform the moment ETH USD breaks 4K, right? And
Yeah.
we are kind of expecting for ETH USD to finally start going upwards. Maybe it's not going to like outperform straight, but once it breaks 4K, that's where I think it's going to outperform big time. But in the meantime, it just keeps on bleeding, basically, right?
It does. It does indeed.
I think what's going to be very important is how it reacts right here, because we are approaching like exactly the 0.04 level, which is a round number, and there is a huge liquidity near it, right? Like if you zoom in on the ETH BTC chart here. Tucker.
Oh, hang on. Yeah. Wait. Let me do this real quick. Look at this. Somebody 100x put this on Twitter. 100x GK. He's in our Discord, but this type of price action that we saw in September of 2020. Look at this. This is pretty wild. Right? Do we see it? Like that's kind of this.
I do.
Yeah, this is what I'm kind of expecting. Dragged up by Bitcoin throughout Q4, Q1, bang. You know, those numbers are obviously going to be different, but yeah. And it was September.
But also, right? I think you have a good point there, right? Like I'm thinking again, the moment ETH starts to go up, there is going to be everyone trying to chase it, right? As everyone tried on every single little pump we had, because he was like, this is the time when ETH finally outperforms, and it just bled the new lows again, and then it pumped and bled the new lows again, right? So it didn't really go much down, but on like the, in the recent months on the ETH BTC pair, but if you think about it, it's just few percentages. So everyone is looking for this outperformance for ETH. So I really think that when it goes, it's really not going to give much chances of a pullback. And I think the example you were trying to make there with the, December 2016 lows, right? Could probably be more fair. So if you can just scroll on both, on ETHUSD and ETHBTC to 2016, I think we could possibly get something like that later on. Like it's kind of like the market makers try to condition you, right? Like they're gonna make it pump few times, they're gonna make you excited, then they bleed it to new lows. Then
so
they're
where?
gonna pump it. They bleed it to new lows again, and then when the actual pump comes, you tend to not trust it, but it's the real one, and you just do not know, right? And like the only winning strategy you like can do is be there through the slow bleed until it comes, basically, or until it hits hard time frame invalidation. At this point, I was thinking of if you can maybe sense the chart.
This little thing.
I might just take the chart because
take it.
I cannot look at this anymore. I was thinking about this, right? So like here, you also had, you had ETHUSD breaking lower, and then you had, as you said, right, you had like ETHBTC, which was at that time, bleeding. You would have people, doing this like, oh, support, right? Then it breaks below it, right? It bounces. People are like, oh, just a liquidity sweep. Then it breaks lower once again, and then it just pumps. And then you would have people doing like, oh, support, right? I'm gonna buy the retest. It doesn't. People would be like, hey, I'm gonna buy the retest, right? It doesn't. It just, as you said, it just, and I'm in logarithmic mode, right? So it looked like this basically. So I tend to think that this time around, we probably, right, like that's like the way it's been going. It's been going here, right? Like I was saying, this is October 2023, which is a year ago, basically, right? It's not September, but nearly a year ago. And so the price is what, 20% lower? Like, what is that in crypto terms, right? Not much. And every time it pumped, people were excited, me included, that it's finally coming. And then you have the the slow bleed, and then you have the pump, and then you have the slow bleed, and then you have the pump and slow bleed. So at some point, and maybe you get like this, and then you get another slow bleed, right? Possibly. But then you're gonna get a pump, and people will be like, oh, another, time to short it, slow bleed. But instead, the market will just do like this, and then people will be just like back then, right? They'll be waiting for like the pullback to this level. They'll be like, all right, I'll wait for the confirmation. The confirmation comes, but the pullback doesn't. Tommy, you want to say something?
No, I agree. I mean, that's the only way the structure realistically ends, unless, like we were saying, you just see ETH Bitcoin die. There's going to eventually be a candle, and albeit, initially when that ETF pump started, I kind of thought it would happen there.
Me too.
it just doesn't come back to retest, and it just breaks all. I mean, you have all those untapped highs for basically 2 years that are going to get swept by probably like 1 or 2 monthly candles.
Yeah, but and it also comes with the adaptability, because like, right, this was when I was saying like it must come from here. We had the pump, right? I was actually long here, taking profits here on my coin and margin longs, if you remember. And then we had this drop, and that's where I was really getting bearish for further lower, right? So although I was pretty bullish here, or like here before the ETF, I did, and I still do think it comes, and I'm long again, right? Like I was buying, I was escaping the market and rebuying lower, which is basically just my strategy, because I just like, I see this to be a higher time frame range, which, and I think lots of people are not thinking ahead, where this, you basically have like the big reaccumulation, right? Which once gets broken, you will not like see like a break and then it comes down and die. No, like once you break above here, right? Once you break 4K, you're not gonna stop. It's or maybe you like, and it will depend like how exactly we do it, because like if we were to pump straight like up here, maybe like this. I do not think so, because if this was the case, they would first have to, if you're gonna get a pump, right? If you were to get a clean retest, they would have to prolong it, and they would have to make you first turn bullish and then come back to retest it, right?
Right.
They will not just like pump above and then do a clean retest. Like, that's not happening. That's everyone's dream. So
Expansion,
once this
position. I'm sorry, Jack, is for cutting you off. I was just going to say, I mean, people like to say, yeah, I'll position on confirmation, and usually they're talking about leverage, and that's almost impossible, because people always forget about when you do see a huge break from compression, realized volatility spikes. So it's like there's not really any liquidity to be able to position into. You're kind of just like you're throwing darts in the dark, because I mean, as we saw with the ETH ETF announcement, for example, right? Like if you tried to get long for that, you had no chance unless you literally just aped and had a liquidation price low enough to where any lower time frame fluctuation wasn't going to liquidate you. And that's how it's going to play out on a higher time frame too. People are going to be looking to position, but there's going to be too much realized volatility to be able to do it, or at least to do it with less stress, which is why I think it's just way better to be positioned before compression breaks. I know some traders are very adamantly against that, but look, I mean, there's always context at the bottom or the top of a range that can tell you if you're about to break out or break down or not.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, right? Because like at this point, as we said, there, like, you will not probably see the market pump here and then do like a perfect retest. This is what everyone thinks, that they will be like, I'll just wait for the break of this downtrend, for the retest, and I'll get long. But like, that's basically, you here, right? Like, you're right here in the slow bleed, and you're like, I'll wait for it. Then it comes, you miss it entirely. And that's what I think happens. So while you do have the slow ETH BTC bleed here, as you said, Tommy, you need to be in the slow bleed. You need to be able to survive once, like, when everyone is telling you that you are an idiot for holding it, and you have the advantage of looking at this ETHUSD chart, because the ETHUSD chart is holding its higher time frame structure, and as long as you anticipate it to go up, which we do, then the outperformance, as I said, I think comes above 4K. So it's kind of tough, right, in this sense. But yeah, and by the way, there is also people who say, all right, I will not. So I think it's going to be something in between, right? Like, it's like, there will be people waiting for this retest. But I think it's, as Tucker pointed out, right? Like in 2018, 19, you had lots of smart people, and that's the hard part with being smart, is that you often overthink stuff and you end up being mid-curve instead of right. And here lots of people also were waiting for like this retest, and I think it was fair to wait for it while you were down here. Although, right, look where you were, right? You were after the bear market, and you were around these prices when ETH-BTC really started to outperform. So those were really good prices all in all on USD terms and BTC terms. So you sometimes just want to get in ahead. And then, you had the structural break, and so forth. And but the thing is that right here, you also had a breakdown, right? And then you had the slow bleed. But you did not get the higher time frame demand retest as many wished for. And I think it could be the same right here, where lots of people will be waiting for this one. They're gonna get front run, and then those that are waiting for a retest, they will not get it. So something like that possibly. Like this way, you just do not let anyone in. If I were a market maker, basically the way you do it, right? Like you retrace the entire ETF bump, so everyone that was trying to get long is dumping easier. Anyone who is patiently waiting for the support, you front run them, and anyone who is waiting for confirmation, you do not give the retest. But
no retest will be had. None
There's
at
no
all.
such thing as a perfect retest. Like it's either you're not getting filled, or if you're getting filled, you're going to get run over.
Yeah, basically. or there is the case that it is over, right? But like you probably need to see ECSD drop like here, and then maybe you would like need ETH-BTC to roll over this one and accelerate its sell-off to your right. So you'd be getting like something like this, and at that point it's probably over.
I don't know if I think it goes quite that low. I do think it can drop to like 0.03 and still realistically carve out a bottom near that price action, or near that level. But it's going to take. I think what this chart needs more than anything is time, right? Like it's probably going to need time to round out. It's going to need time for liquidity tailwinds to take a bigger effect into the market. And those are things that it takes a while to price in, right? Like it's not going to happen over a week or a month. That's a 3 or 4 year, sometimes even longer thematic that will benefit altcoins and ETH. At least they have cyclically. But I do think that the biggest thing that ETH and ETH Bitcoin need right now is still time. I almost wonder if like NFTs are a pretty good reflection of that, right? Because if you were to talk to a normie about like their perception of crypto, their perception of NFTs, there's almost kind of like this perceived cringe with all of it, and I can't even fault them for some of it, right? Like some of it is absolutely justified, but I kind of have like this thesis that crypto, it needs time to be able to climb that wall of cringe that it's still climbing. And asset prices pumping will certainly help with that, but I think time plays a big role in that too.
Totally.
You guys need to study Wolf right now. Study this chart, man.
Guys, I cooked for you, but I gotta run here. It's my time. So
I also have to run, Jack, because I have a meeting with these guys in 5 and 1 right now, actually at 11. So Tommy, it's all you.
Tommy
totally ditched me.
Tommy will be telling you how ETH is going to 0 for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No, right. I'll just give some chart analysis, some level analysis. You guys send me some tickers that you want me to talk about, and I'll talk about them for like 10 more minutes, or however long you want me to. I can yap. I have no problem doing that, but yeah, I'm gonna need you guys to send some tickers, not like garbage shitcoin tickers, please. I would like to. I'd like to. See you, Jackus. Not soul shitters, no. Although if they hit like a certain market cap, I'd probably take a look at them. But otherwise, you guys are stuck with me and Justin Sun, I guess, for another 10 minutes. But I'm gonna do my best to cook you guys up a meal here as well. Let me put on my Trading View tab. Let's look at it. All right, cool. What's up, guys? Me and Justin Sun cooking. Brett, Pepe, ADA. We can take a look at all these charts, boys. What I'm seeing on a lower time frame, we can also talk about. Hold on, let me I got a text real quick. Don't worry, guys, we got this. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They all just they both left me at the same time. But all right, guys, let's cook. Let's cook. Looking at Bitcoin, what I see on a lower time frame, I wouldn't say I'm kind of expecting some of this liquidity to get backfilled just on like a very general level, right? Like even if you're expecting a sell-off, I would be looking for this low to break. That's the low from the morning sell-off. You do probably backfill like liquidity up to here, even if you're going to sell off. That's just my opinion. But I echo the sentiment of my teammates where generally speaking, the type of price action that you're going to want to see is probably going to be like this choppy, slow grind price action. And Bitcoin will probably move before ETH in that scenario. I think that needs to be said, right? Like look at this chart, man. This looks rough. This looks a little rough. And yes, you will have to hear me talk about how I do not think that this pair looks very good. And that is unfortunate. But I don't think that is inherently bearish for USD prices either, because obviously when ETH Bitcoin has come down in the past, we've seen outperformance from Bitcoin USD. So it would open up a scenario for something like this, right? Where if you do have this slow grind up, you get a big pop. That would be confluent with a big leg lower on ETH Bitcoin, maybe down into here, right? Maybe you get something like this, and you start chopping. Eventually, that chop will probably turn into reaccumulation, if I had to guess. But you would want Bitcoin to probably do something like this, because if ETH Bitcoin looks like that, you want Bitcoin to lead the market higher. It's going to have to do it in a pretty explosive fashion. I don't think that it can. It absolutely cannot, right? Because we have highs here we haven't touched, here, 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 here. It's been a long downtrend. We've left a lot of liquidity up there that can definitely be, and in the same way that Jackus and I were talking about ETH Bitcoin making up that difference in one candle, why can't Bitcoin do the same? Should we break out here? And I think the flip side of that is if this does not hold here, what does that look like? Well, I mean, look, where support structure is not super favorable below that. So I like binary decision making in markets. I think it's really important to be able to minimize the number of inputs that are going into a decision. So therefore, flip the level, flip this bleed, squeeze these shorts, the light's back on. You lose this level, looks not so great, especially for something like ETH, which is why I highlight the importance of Bitcoin chatting here, guys, because ETH needs to really realistically like get back above this level and prove this was a deviation of like this range right here, right? That's a bad line, but you guys get the point. It needs to prove that's a deviation, break this market structure. And then I think I like the plan that was mapped out of something like that. That would probably be about what I would expect from ETH in an uptrend from Bitcoin. Of course, that would probably also mean Bitcoin dominance is going a lot higher than I thought, a lot sooner than I thought. So that could be something to watch out for as well. But let's look at the tickers you guys sent me. Oh man, holy cow. You guys sent me a lot of tickers. I'm going to do my best to cover most of these. All right, guys, let's look at them. I saw a Giga shill. Let's see. I've been seeing that one more and more. I know the chart had been strong. I haven't really paid too much attention to the shitcoin trenches lately with the way that ETH has been looking, but this has been a coin that I have been aware of, just the fact that it looks so strong. I bet it looks even better without log. Yeah, holy cow. That looks really good to me. I mean, there are a few coins on Solana that seem to be just having like this perpetual twat put on them, with Giga being one of them. Oh, shoot. Yeah, let's draw that volume profile. Probably a bit more from the breakout here. That's more accurate representation. I mean, realistically, you can probably just kind of consolidate in here and be fine for a while. But this is going to be dependent on something like Sol. So I think there are probably a lot of Sol coins. I think FWOG as well kind of looks something like this. Let's take a look at it real quick, where it's like teasing a breakout and a similar looking structure. Yeah. So FWOG, very similar setup. It's benefiting from obviously Sol still being within this high time frame range. This is something that I was talking about on the morning call this morning with the Giga Chads, right? Like as long as Sol is in this range, shitcoining on Sol is going to be kind of its own sandbox. But if Sol breaks down from this, that's going to change for Sol beta, obviously. That goes without saying. It's true for beta of any asset. And if Sol breaks out, and I would even say if Sol can like break the purple line I've got drawn here, realistically more so these highs, you're going to see Sol on chain probably heat up in a really big way really quickly again, as it has, you know, on repeat. Pepe, let's look at Pepe. Pepe is an interesting one to me because, I mean, look, it's like ETH beta. A lot of ETH beta charts look like this, where you know, they need ETH to form a low here. Say that low is protecting structure right now. If I had to guess, this is probably no, it's actually different timing. But yeah, this low is what's really keeping structure up. So like, I really wouldn't want to see us lose this low. I'm sure you could sweep it again. I'm not really in the camp that would be the best look. I think you more so want to start like ETH. You want to start that slow grind up here. Back to, I mean, just slowly breaking highs, and realistically something like Pepe will probably do, if I had to guess, like something elongated. And then once you break this high, you get a little consolidation, your all-time highs, and then you go, right? So I think meme coins as a sector are maybe a little bit behind, quote unquote, utility coins, right? Because you look at stuff like, we'll look at Sui. I know some of you have already asked for that. You look at something like Sui. These charts, if we're going to trend up from here, these charts are further ahead cyclically than something like Pepe, where Sui's already given that first, you know, that first pump, that initiation of a potential new trend off the low, where you have meme coins like Pepe and Brett that I think are still trying to give that first pump up, right? So I mean, we saw the similar dynamic last year in 2023. I don't think that Pepe moved until, like, let's take a look. You know, Pepe gave that first move off the low with Bitcoin and ETH, but it didn't start to super trend until February, 2 or 3 months, or what am I saying? That's more like 4 or 5 months later. And that, I think that's still a theme. Like, it's the meme coin super cycle, but I don't think that we should get it twisted as far as the timing of which within these mini cycles that we go through, right? These 4 or 5 month cycles when memes typically run. Let's look. All right, let's look at some more Brett, Giga. All right, I've been touching on some of these. Caspa. Caspa's not really my coin, honestly, but I will take a look at it. It's one of those coins though, where I will say, like, this is either a really big distribution or a really big like a vertical accumulation. And if you're breaking out, then it's probably gonna be something like this. You have to have non-log probably. Shoot, what did I just do? Yeah, you're probably gonna give a big rip. You're gonna maybe pull back a little bit more, and then you're gonna probably, this would be your blow off top. Like, I would probably be selling my Caspa into that sort of pump if you got it, just based on where this looks, right? Because you have first drive, second drive, third drive. You've got probably a lot of bear divs. I'm not an RSI expert, but if I had to guess, you probably got a bunch of bear divs. what usually happens after you have a 3 drive in crypto is that you get a drive that invalidates the idea that the 3rd drive was bearish, and that is usually the top or close to the top. That would be my plan for Caspa. Should we break out here? Look at how ETH Bitcoin bottoms first at 0.01, then 0.02. Maybe now let's look at ETH Bitcoin again. ETH respectors are not going to like me looking at ETH Bitcoin. Yeah, I see it, right? I see it. I wonder how that, if the trend line has any significance to that. Let's delete that. This one's kind of tough for me, man. This is, I don't really want to give up on ETH necessarily, but at the same time, this chart doesn't really communicate that there's a ton of interest in ETH. And I think the biggest indicator of when there will be are going to be 2 things. It's going to be CME futures, because that's what we saw with Bitcoin, or really like more ETF appetite than we've seen, obviously, thus far from ETH. Or I would say the ETH options market picking back up in a meaningful degree, because it's been pretty dead actually the last few months. There was a time where it kind of spiked up right around the ETH ETF launch. And this is why I always say, like, there's always insider flow going on in crypto before these moves happen. If you can spot it, you can position yourself ahead of time for the announcement. You show me the flow, I'll tell you the announcement, or I'll tell you that there's an announcement coming. Yeah, let's get Tommy to 250 likes. I have no idea what the stream's even at. Let me take a look. We're at 177. Wow, man. If you guys could smash that like button, I'd be super appreciative, but I'll keep cooking for you anyway. I don't have any Tron Alpha. No way, Jose. No Tron Alpha. The chart is just kind of like a perpetual grind higher. So I would assume that would remain the case unless there's any like DeFi stress to Justin's son himself. You know, the guy behind me, the big man behind me. Litecoin. You want me to take a look at Litecoin? All right, let's take a look. This looks exactly like the Punks chart, which I have a fractal on. Otherwise, I'd pull up. But what I think these charts kind of look like, actually, and you will actually see this in a lot of different crypto charts. Not that they're all going to play it out, because not every crypto should come back or will come back. But you had, right, this big blow off, quick sell off, controlled consolidation without a breakout. You look at Microsoft post tech bubble. I think good alts will follow. Well, I mean, they're probably not going to be bid like a Microsoft, obviously, but yeah, I mean, you've seen this exact same pattern play out in legacy markets already in the past. Like, this is what I'd be looking for some of these, right? Like, they're somewhere in here probably. Punks and NFTs in general, I think, are probably like somewhere in here. I think NFTs are really close to a bottom, at least Punks, and that's the only NFT I'm super interested in buying at the moment. I probably will not take a look at ADA. I'm sorry. Lunk. I'm probably not going to take a look at that one. I'm going to try not to ignore your guys, your tickers though. The FUD ETH special. I'm trying not to. I'm just being objective about the market needs ETH, man. I was talking about this on the morning call today. People want to have this bull market where we can just kind of like brush ETH to the side. We can just trade on Sol. We can trade Bitcoin maybe. Every now and then we get an on-chain super cooker and it will be fine. And maybe that's great, but we'll never reach the heights that we reached in 2021. Like, the bar needs to be higher. The bar should be higher. We're coming into a crypto super cycle, in my opinion. But you need ETH to be a part of that too. At least I think so. One Ondo for a condo. Let's take a look at Ondo. I think we were looking at that yesterday. Oh my God, I can't type today. One condo per Ondo. That looks bad. The chart looks wrecked. This there are some VC scams that look, I mean, they're probably playing out exactly like TIA, more or less, if I had to guess. Let's look at is their Coinbase chart broken today? Is it? Guess I can just do a different one. Yeah, I guess it is. I would guess a lot of those VC scams that are kind of sitting like right here probably might still have this to play out. Because who's bidding on though, man? This is a VC scam, 100%. Because people will tell you this is the real world asset coin to bid, but I could probably count a grand total of like 2 or 3 people who can tell you, okay, what does it actually do to like connect crypto with real world assets? It's just a buzzword. No, it's just a buzzword. MakerDAO is really the coin I would say is more of the real world asset bet, but it's not particularly flashy. Maybe that changes when it rebrands to Sky. I know that's coming soon. Like for Soul Survivor. Agreed. Agreed. Do I own any Tron memes? I don't. I do not. I don't have a lot of I think in general, I was talking about this too yesterday. I don't remember if it was Market Check or on a Discord call, but I miss the days when you could just go to a new L1 and make a ton of money for just being early and out hustling everybody else who just didn't want to bridge. And now you bridge to a new chain and it's so PvP because there's just not enough liquidity to be able to sustain as much on-chain activity as before. And I think a lot of that is cyclical. Some of that is that these L1s will not come back. They don't need to exist, but a lot of that is cyclical. And as far as like liquidity goes, wormhole. Well, I have a feeling I know what this chart's going to look like. Straight down. Yeah. Well, I guess it's looking like it's trying to bottom. It kind of looks like Dime, doesn't it? I think I have a fractal on my Dime chart as well. That's proprietary. I don't want to just necessarily give that away, but yeah, it does look like Dime, doesn't it? These coins, I don't know who's bidding them. I'm sure there will be some people who bid them, but if I believe that we are early to a crypto super cycle, but also potentially exiting an echo bubble, I want to pick the assets that, one, I think are undervalued. And there are a lot of crypto assets, arguably all of them, that are undervalued. But the second part of that too is I want to feel like I'm finding a token where there's alpha and value present, right? Like something like W is a great example. Is there alpha with Wormhole? I don't know. I would say a lot of the alpha probably got taken in the seed round because the FDV I think is still exorbitantly high. Thus, it makes it difficult for me as an investor to want to make a long-term bet on Wormhole over something like a meme coin, because for one, there's not going to be any token unlocks. There's not going to be any unlocked supply that I don't know about, or that's just going to always be hitting the order books. Meme coins have pumped so much harder because there is significantly less supply. And this is the biggest difference with 2020 and 2021. Like this cycle, we have way more supply overhang. And that's why memes have drastically outperformed something, for example, like an AVAX. This is the perfect example to me, because you would never know looking at this chart. Open interest hit all-time highs on AVAX this cycle, all-time highs. This pump was way better. There was way more activity on chain, but this open interest hit all-time highs because, and the chart looks like that just because there's just way more supply overhang. I mean, I'm sure there's a market cap chart too that reflects it as well, right? Sol, I bet. Yeah, I know the Sol chart does as well. So I'm looking for alpha and value. A lot of these VC scams are already valued probably too highly. And also the alpha was already captured during the funding rounds. So I'm trying to balance that, right? I'm trying to balance that out. Curve, man. It's funny that you mentioned Curve because I was literally looking at the chart about 15 minutes before chat left me. This is, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I will say some alpha here is that if you add BTC, yeah, this is good alpha I'm actually sharing with you guys. Study DeFi leverage. Why is ETH not pumping? Look at the state of ETH on chain, guys. Look at it. It's not a coincidence that ETH Bitcoin ran the hardest when Curve was pumping, because people borrow on chain and they are able to buy more ETH, lend more ETH, make ETH a bit more scarce on chain. It's a very reflexive tailwind until obviously you get these nukes right here where it all kind of unwinds because there is a lot of built-in leverage. But until then, you know, it's a positive catalyst for the market. This is alpha. DeFi tokens, you need DeFi tokens to be revived, to revive ETH, just my opinion. Current DeFi tokens right now, there are like Pendle and ENA. It's like, those are garbage in my opinion. Those are garbage, especially ENA. Especially ENA. It's like a Popcat. Let me take ETH Bitcoin off. The Binance chart looks a lot better than I think any other chart of this. Like this actually could look really good soon. So I've been keeping an eye on Popcat. I did look at Brett already. I might be behind in the chat. Guys, I'm trying to like get through everything as quickly as I can, but I will leave Landwolf to Tucker. That's he's got that chart down to a T. He did touch on it earlier in the show, I think, as well. Refresh. Tammy. Wow, somebody called me Tammy. Camino. That's I know Wabi's talked about that one. Is there a chart for it on TradingView? Yes, on KuCoin. This is an interesting chart. I had a long time ago, probably back in like 2022. I mean, we were still in a downtrend at the time. I kind of hypothesized DeFi summer would come back, but on Sol instead of ETH. And obviously we haven't seen that. We saw Sol network activity really spike because of meme coins, not because of DeFi. But yeah, I mean, I know this is a low market cap. I think the FDV is, I want to say decently high, but I bet this looks like Jito, doesn't it? More or less, probably. The issue I have with these Sol DeFi coins is that they usually have very high FDV, and they just haven't been incubated in the same way that DeFi tokens were on ETH. Camino could be like right here. That'd be a good trade. The Jupiter Sol pair. Let's take a look. Jup USDT, Sol USDT. Hopefully floored. Should be. So here's the thing. There are so many altcoins painting this pattern right now, right? Where they've got the floor being painted above this previous consolidation, down slope, price action. They're just looking for like the candle to break out of it. And I've guaranteed this probably, yeah, it's got divs that are bullish. It's just kind of waiting for like who's going to bid it, which is why I go back to majors. Majors are really important. There's a reason I think that altcoins are trading so heavily correlated to majors right now. It's because they all look like this. Because if majors break down, whoosh, and if they break up, new uptrends for altcoins, right? Binary decision making. That's what we like. Jasmine. Man, a lot of Cardano people. Jasmine. This looks like AVAX did. I bet it. Where's AVAX on here? Did I already delete it from my watch list? I think that was a conditioned response to having it on my trading view. Yeah, Jasmine kind of looks like it's right here. Different level cyclically. The Japanese Bitcoin, same chart, in my opinion. The soybean indicator, we better be at 200 likes when I refresh the YouTube. 196, okay. It's acceptable. That's acceptable. That's acceptable. I'd love to hit over 200 likes though for the stream, guys. If you could smash that like button, I'm cooking up a delicious meal for you in these final few minutes. This is a funky looking chart. I mean, like, this should be floored. This is a chart that Dr. Outlook would be buying. I do know that. It's just that, yeah, it's like I said, there are a lot of altcoin charts that look like this. They need to find bidders. And I guess something to consider as well, pump fund, like what has that done as far as like the total number of coins in the market? Like how many of these coins are going to be able to catch a bid to the same degree as before? Which I'm like, my plan for kind of the next few years is to focus on the tokens that is to really focus on the tokens where there's going to be genuine usage. Like what are assets right now that are being used, and that usage is creating buy pressure on the token that will probably continue over time. Something like an AVE, for example, which has obviously gone up a lot off the local lows, largely because I view it as the safe haven within DeFi. If anything happens to DeFi, AVE will probably be the last thing to break, because it's like people trust it the most, and it has the most network activity. People buy the token, right? That's reflexive, and I think that's what you really want to be looking for outside of meme coins. That's just my opinion for like the next few years. What tokens are being bought creates buy pressure just from organic usage, and user apps fall in that as well. I mean, I'm a huge Hyperliquid shill, as you guys know. All right, huge wick. That is a big wick. Wow, I'm like way behind the chat, guys. I'm gonna have to start skipping some of these tickers. I'm gonna skip the Dino shills, like the Dino coins, just because I think a lot of them look very similar, right? Like they look like Litecoin. They look like I mean, I wouldn't say they look as bullish. I actually don't think XRP looks bad on a higher time frame, which I think Tucker would hate if I said that. But I kind of like the look of XRP here on a higher time frame. I'm not holding any base memes anymore, just because I think I'm not that bullish on ETH. If you are in the Discord, you know my honest thoughts on ETH USD. Stick to Sol memes, maybe a few ETH. Yeah, I tend to. I mean, look, like the meme coin opportunity is going. The capital is always mercenary. People will say that it's very loyal to Sol or ETH, and I think to some extent that it is, but people will always bridge to where the best opportunity is. And we saw that when we've had these like tiny little base seasons. It's only taken a tiny bit of ETH outperformance to achieve a lot of capital rotation in the base. So that tells me the capital is very mercenary, but also ETH needs to show that strength before I have any. Like, you could buy charts on base right now that are beaten down. They are discounted, but again, there's no guarantee that they come back. So I do think you are gambling to an extent. Big time. I'm not going to look at big time, man. I hate that. I hate that coin. I hate that coin. I tried to trade that a few times this cycle. FDV of Camino is only 556. That's not terrible. That's not bad. Tommy Bahama. I like that. I like that. Wow, man. Yeah, I know Tucker does not like XRP, but I don't think the chart looks that bad. I don't even know do I have any like squigglies on. Part of the problem with pulling up charts is I never know if I have like an errant fractal present on the chart. Yeah, see. That's a great example. Just kind of been watching. I don't really know what to make of this, man. Because this is either like, this is one of two things, and it's going to be so obvious in hindsight, right? Like, it's either a very clear slow grind into an eventual parabola, or this is an echo bubble, right? And it's going to come down and then go. But I would say, like, XRP versus ETH, I definitely think XRP will outperform ETH. Absolutely, 100%. Up or down, that will probably be the case with ETH at like 2,500. Because if ETH is at 2,500 and goes to 10K, that's a 4X. Realistically, XRP is probably coming like up here is where I'd be looking. And if ETH breaks down and goes lower, the downside for XRP is what? You know, like it just re-enters a range. So what? ETH has all this to give. So XRP ETH is a good pair, in my opinion. If you're a pair trader. Ether liquidity is coming to XRP soon. That could be interesting. I mean, people might just not want ETH. I think that is something that not enough people are lending credits to. Like, there are a lot of people that already hold it, and it's difficult for somebody to want to stomach, like, unit cost bias is very real. Like, I'd love to buy this $2,300 token when I can buy $134 token and I can do more with it. So I think that's, at the most basic level, the psychological framework that a lot of people are working off of right now with SOL versus ETH. And if I want to buy, like, unit cost, I don't think matters for Bitcoin. I really don't, not at this point. I mean, it will affect your ROI as an investor, but I think if you're buying Bitcoin, you're not doing it because you think it's expensive or cheap at this point. That's just my opinion. I really haven't fudded ETH that hard on since everybody left. I just want to say, I have talked about the structure, and I think that there are other assets that look better, but I haven't explicitly fudded ETH. I like ETH memes more than I like ETH. I always joke about how the best thing you can do with your ETH is to buy Pepe. At least it was when I was suggesting it. Maybe not quite as much over the last. Yeah, I think that basically probably wraps everything up, though, guys. I covered most charts, unless y'all want me to look at Cardano real quick, because I did get a lot of suggestions for that one. I'm guessing it looks, oh, wow. Well, I guess I already had that on there. But yeah, Cardano's probably close to bottomed. I had that on there too. Yeah, just like I told you guys, I never know when I'm going to find like an errant drawing from a chart that I deleted off my watch list ages ago. But no, I tend to think a lot of these charts, you know, whether they are going like this or whether they're going like this and then going, are exiting echo bubbles and entering into a much larger cycle. Right? Like, you look at this, literally just, and this will be the last thing I say. I actually think I need straight up NASDAQ. I am afraid to know actually what fractal is going to come up if I pull up the NASDAQ. Let me, I have no idea, man. Okay, there's nothing. Sweet. You literally see this pattern play out. How many altcoins are right in here? Somewhere. How many? A lot. A lot. Like, we just looked at a bunch. It just depends. Where do you think we are within here, in my opinion? So no, I do not think that we're about to go through like this huge recession, but I do think that we're probably somewhere in here. If we haven't already bottomed, I think we're bottoming soon. Those are my thoughts, though, guys. I am a big high time frame bull, but short term, I think I'm not quite sure that we bottomed yet. But I think that can change pretty quickly, right? Like, if Bitcoin shows a lot of strength up here, altcoins, at least some of them, look like they want to catch a bid. They'll get correlation bids, stuff like that. But you like the random fractals? I mean, you like them until you get one that you don't. It's kind of like a, you know, when you'd go to the dentist or the orthodontist and you get like you twist the thing after getting a coin and you get a toy. And sometimes you get a really crappy toy, but sometimes you get those really cool, like, little alien guys. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe somebody will remember, but thank you guys for sticking around. Hope that you enjoyed the show. I'm going to wrap us up now with a few closing thoughts. But yeah, a reminder, guys, that we have launched our official hedge fund, BB Wealth Management. If you are interested in having the Because Bitcoin team manage some of your capital, we do have that option for you now. We are an SEC registered fund, and we focus on digital assets in a way that looks to capture their asymmetric history for upside returns, obviously with the investment risks, or while balancing the investment risk posed in any financial market. Of course, we also have the BB Academy, guys, which has been around for about 4 or 5 months now, and I am going to say it every day, whether or not you like it or not. But we've gotten amazing, amazing feedback from you already on the Academy. So I love to see that you guys are enjoying it, learning things, whether or not you're trying to hone your educational base or take your trading to mastery level. I think there is a place in the Academy for you. It's pretty invaluable to be able to kind of learn about the different ways and the different ways and methods that a group of traders tackles markets and analyzes things and ultimately takes trades, takes profit, everything, rather than just 1 or 2 people, because stylistically, as you guys know, the team is very different, and that's a good thing. Also, the BB terminal has gone live. Make sure to check that out as well, guys. We are beyond excited that that product is hitting your shelves, but more so your computer, your digital footprints here. We have worked very hard on that over the last 9 or 10 months to make sure that that product has been ready and the best possible product that it can be. We're going to continue to do so and continue, tweaking, making it better. Really just making it the best possible product, like I said, on the entire market. And I do think that it will be. So make sure to check out the BB terminal as well. All of these products linked in the description below, as well as on our website. If you enjoyed Market Check today, whether it was, Jack is cooking, Tucker cooking, or just me cooking here for the last half hour, I certainly enjoyed talking to you guys as always, but we'll be back for another episode tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, we will be wrapping up this week where we have had, once again, a lot of macro data. I can't wait till I don't have to talk about macro data, but maybe it's just kind of part of the job now. I don't know. We also have Market Talk hosted by the legendary King Wabi. That is a Twitter space hosted by the Because Bitcoin Twitter account. And the flavor of the conversation always very much takes on, who's on the panel. And Wabi does a great job hosting that show. So make sure to tune in for that this afternoon and every afternoon after Market Check if you are looking for a bit of a fix, after seeing our well, right now, just mine, but our, I'll point to Justin's son, our beautiful faces. But thank you guys, as always, once again. I'm going to officially wrap up the stream now. And y'all have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week. And thanks again and stay safe.